The 3:30 p.m. meeting of the Bakersfield City Council is now in session.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to call to order the 3:30 regular City Council meeting of March 12, 2025. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Go.
Here.
Vice Mayor Core. Councilmember Arias. Councilmember Gonzalez.
Here.
Councilmember Weir.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
I am here.
Councilmember Coman. Councilmember Bashirtosh.
Here.
Oh, he's here now.
Thank you. In keeping with Council's resolution, public statements are received at different times depending on the item. I'll call on the City Clerk to call for public statements at the appropriate time. If you wish to make a public statement, please fill out a public speaker card and place it in the tray next to the speaker podium. We ask that you mark whether you're here to speak on an item listed on today's agenda or in a matter not on the agenda. Speakers who do not identify a specific agenda item will be presumed speakers for the non-agenda public statements. If you're here to speak on an item not listed on the meeting agenda, you'll be called first to speak. Statements are given a 2-minute time limit per speaker, 20 minutes total for all non-agenda item public statements. If you're here to speak on an item listed on the agenda, I will call for you at the appropriate time. If public statements become disruptive and I have to clear the chambers to regain order of the meeting, you'll be called in one at a time to provide the public statement when your item is called. Everyone in attendance is expected to adhere to the rules of decorum established by resolution of the City Council. Failure to abide by the city's rules of decorum, including any disruptive behavior that interferes with our ability to have an orderly and efficient meeting, prevents the City Council from conducting the business of the city. Consider this a first warning to everyone in attendance that conduct that disrupts this meeting may result in expulsion and/or the chambers being cleared. Behavior that disrupts the meeting includes repetitive statements, shouting, hate speech, interrupting staff or presenters during the meeting, speaking out of turn, outbursts from the audience, surpassing the 2-minute time limit. Madam Clerk, do we have any public speakers regarding items not listed on the agenda?
Mayor Go, we have received one speaker card. The first speaker is Michael Turnipseed.
And for the record, Madam Clerk, both Vice Mayor Core and Councilmember Coleman have entered. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Madam Mayor, I hope you enjoyed your recent trip to India. I'm Michael Turnipseed. I represent the Kern County Taxpayers Association. Yesterday at the Board of Supervisors meeting, we may ask them to make a referral to staff to meet with you, the city, for a joint management performance audit of all vendors that are concerned with the homeless contracts. In a recent article in the LA Times, which I sent to you, homeless services provided by the City of LA and the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority were disjointed, and a lack of data systems and financial controls to monitor contracts for compliance and performance, leaving the system vulnerable to waste, fraud. An audit was ordered by a federal court judge. The audit by global consulting firm Alvarez & Marsal found that the city was unable to track exactly how much it spent on specific home problems and rigorously reconcile spending with services provided, making it impossible to judge how well the city programs work and what the outcomes are. There's absolutely no correlation between dollars in and dollars out. The contracts is written even by the LA Homeless Authority, allowing wide variation in services provided their cost, it said. These findings echoed a November report by the LA County Auditor Controller that found lax accounting procedures result in a failure of the system to reclaim millions of dollars in cash advances to contractors and to pay other contractors on time, even when funds were available. I have yet to see any performance audit of virtually anything the city does. So let's start with the homeless, and we'd recommend to you that you start a program of every 5 years doing performance audits by an outside firm, reputable firm like Moss Adams, to show what the outcomes really are we're getting and what they're supposed to be getting, because there's virtually no time spent on accountability. We all can spend the money, but you don't spend much time finding out what works and what doesn't and what we need to do to improve. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Turnipseed. Councilmember Gonzalez.
Mr. Turnipseed, thank you so much for coming to City Council today. It's good to see you, and I agree. I think it's really appropriate and time for us to look at our performance and see how well we've done in terms of realizing outcomes. There's a difference between activities and outputs and actually outcomes and reducing the number of people who are on the street and helping people move into housing. And homelessness is, we've said it on this dais 1,000 times. It is the #1 issue facing our community. We hear it from our constituents, and we've tried lots of different things. I think it's really important for us to have an honest look at what's working and what isn't working, and ditch those things that aren't working, and to double down on those strategies that are. And for us to continuously look at new and improved ways in which we can address this issue. You know, it's not lost on me that this issue is still pervasive throughout the city of Bakersfield. And we can't just sort of write it off as though, you know, we've already implemented some of these programs and we're addressing it. No, we have to continuously monitor the progress of those initiatives, and we also have to look at new strategies that might be more effective for this time. And, you know, the more we do, the more we should be learning. And so I agree with you, and I would like to make a referral tonight that we look at this proposal and we look at how we're going to evaluate our performance over, you know, over the last 5-6 years.
One quick comment. Since you and the county do share common vendors, it makes a lot of sense that you go together and pay for one study instead of two. Just trying to, you know, it just makes sense for you to not hire different vendors and to hold hands and say, okay, let's look at where we spent the money, because you both put a lot of money in the same programs.
No, I appreciate that.
It's a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Coleman.
Thank you, Mayor, but I'll forego that.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Closed session, item 4A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation regarding Security Paving Company, Inc. v. City of Bakersfield.
Motion to adjourn to closed session.
We're adjourned to closed session. Reconvening the 3:30 meeting at 4:44. Madam City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. By a unanimous vote with Councilmember Arias absent, City Council gave the City Attorney and staff direction.
Thank you. And with that, we stand adjourned at 4:45. We'll start the next meeting at 5:15.